We got breaking news. The Philadelphia 76ers suffer yet another injury with Tyrese Maxey being out for maybe the next couple of weeks. Hamstring injury. We're going to talk about it right after the intro.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
What's the word, NBA basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. Go ahead, hit us up at NBA Central Pod, wherever you receive your social media information. It's your boy, Big Kev, in the building, hitting you guys with some breaking news, and it's not good news for the Philadelphia 76ers as they suffer yet another injury to their starting point guard, Tyrese Maxey. According to Shams, he is expected to miss a couple of weeks because of a right hamstring injury suffered in last night's loss to the Los Angeles Clippers. According to sources, they told ESPN full evaluation coming later Thursday, but besides are bracing for Maxey's absence, the Sixers will take a careful approach with the injury. So the Sixers have already suffered injuries to Paul George, who signed this offseason to a decent deal. Joel Embiid has yet to play a game for the 76ers this season, and he is now serving a 3-game suspension before he will even touch the floor. I think he's slated to come back for the NBA Cup. And then, of course, now Tyrese Maxey is out for the next couple of weeks. And he has been having a pretty good season so far, even though these guys are just 1-6 now after last night's loss. He's averaging 28 points with 27.6, 4 assists, and only 30% from three, though. But you can't be mad at his effort, man. He was trying to carry this team without his two big bros with Paul George and Joel Embiid. And now Paul George is going to have to shoulder the burden for at least the next couple of games pretty much by himself. You got Kelly Oubre out there who can carry some of the scoring load. You still got Andre Drummond that can pick up on the rebounds, but Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, these guys is kind of old, man, and I don't necessarily see them being able to pick up the slack that or fill the void that Tyrese Maxey leaves. You still got Reggie Jackson as well, but these guys are just guys. So it's really it's going to come down to Caleb Martin. Can he pick up some of the slack? Kelly Oubre and Paul George is going to have to go crazy. He's going to have to go vintage. Squad over the next Cup heading into the NBA Cup, because losing Tyrese Maxey is a major blow to a team that has already dug themselves into a hole that they might not just be able to dig themselves out of. I know it's still early, but 1-6 is rough, especially in the same division with the Knicks and Boston Celtics. So it's a bad situation. It's a bad look for the Philadelphia 76ers as they try to get better, as Steve-O is coming in to talk about this as well. I'm going to let him jump in real quick. But yeah, if you guys are just joining us, the Philadelphia 76ers suffer another major blow to their roster. Their starting point guard, Tyrese Maxey, is out for the next couple of weeks with a right hamstring injury, and the medical staff is going to take a cautious approach on his return. He will be fully evaluated later today. Steve-O, how you feeling about this for the 76ers?
Not good news. Not good news at all, especially with a hamstring early. You don't really want to hit these type of injuries early on in the season or any period of time in the season because a hamstring lingers. It takes a while, and the only way to really get that hamstring right is rest. And you're never going to have rest because he's trying to fight his way back to playing. And while you're playing, you're never going to have time for it to rest. So it's going to be a nagging thing throughout the season. We've seen it. I mean, I'm glad it is probably happening over here because they had experience with it with James Harden. James Harden had the same thing when he was with the Philadelphia 76ers, and they know how nagging hamstring injuries could be. But overall, it's just not good for the team. I don't know. You just got Paul George back, and they still not playing up to expectation. So, yeah, with this being down, you're probably your second best leading scorer now is gone. It means even more for Joel Embiid to start playing more and being more healthy. But we already know that ain't gonna work because he also got suspended. So it's like it's just everything that could go wrong starting off this season for this franchise has gone wrong.
You're absolutely correct. Joel Embiid has 2 more games to serve on his suspension, and he's expected to be back next week for the start of the NBA Cup. But they just got Paul George back. He's only played, I believe, 2 games so far. They got whooped on by the Clippers last night. Tyrese Maxey wasn't looking good in that game
He
anyway.
wasn't.
Before he got hurt, he played 32 minutes. 12 points, 5 for 13 from the field, 1 for 6 from three. So he was looking kind of rough last night, but the injury adds insult to injury for the 76ers, who just haven't been without their big man, their MVP in Joel Embiid all season. Paul George signed in the offseason, came over, hasn't played the full season. He just started 2 games, and now he's going to have to shoulder the load. So my question to you, Steve-O, is besides Paul George, who we expect to have a little uptick in output now because he's not going to have his 2 running mates, who do you think is going to step up on this roster? Is it going to be a Kelly Oubre? Is it going to be a Caleb Martin? Can any of these guys at least help Philly get a couple of wins over these next couple of games?
I mean, that was my pick is going to be Kelly Oubre. I feel like out of those two that you named, that everybody else on this roster, when it comes to the talent wise, he's the only person that can put up valuable points and play defense as well. So, but I think the defensive side is probably more important. But he got to be able to match some of these points that he's going to build up. So he probably gonna have to average upwards of 15 points a game just until people start to foul their way back. But yeah, I think if it's anybody, it's him. He's the most sought. He was the most sought after player. I feel like bench player or 6 man guy kind of role or starter on in the trade deadline even during the offseason. I feel like it was a lot of teams after him. I wanted him on the Bulls, so I just think he's one of those players that could be a very glue guy for the team. But if you sometimes some glue guys can step in and do a little bit more for a couple months if you need them to.
Well, at the end of the day, they got a rough week ahead of them. Friday, they play the Lakers in LA, and then they have Charlotte come to town. Charlotte's been playing pretty solid basketball. Then you got the Knicks coming to town. We know the Knicks are underachieving. I think that might be the start of the NBA Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Tuesdays is when they play those games. You might have Joel Embiid back for that game on Tuesday, and then they got Cleveland. Then they got Orlando,
Man,
Miami, and Memphis. So
damn.
like after Cleveland, Orlando, Miami, and Memphis is going to be some winnable games for them if they have Joel Embiid back. But or Lakers, Charlotte, New York, and Cleveland coming up for these guys, you can find themselves not just 1-6, but 1-10 over these next 4 games, trying to dig themselves out of a very, very steep hole. What up, V Dog? V Dog in the comments. What up, Kev and Steve O? 76ers have a legit roster, but it's over. In my opinion, right now, too many of their major players are out. Can't really go as far to say that it's over because the
Yeah, it's too
season is
early.
is just starting. And we don't know what Joel Embiid is going to look like once he gets into game shape. We'll know what this team and let's be clear here. Right now, it's Maxey's only expected to miss a couple of weeks at least right now before he's fully evaluated. Hopefully, this isn't an injury that lingers into a couple of months territory. Maybe he can make it back maybe in 2 or 3 weeks and play through the injury for the season. But we really won't know what's going to happen with this Philadelphia 76ers team until about, let's say, January, the middle of January. You'll get a good grasp on
Yeah.
what they're going to look like.
Yeah, it's entirely too early. We're not even 10 games in. So, and he's not like all of these injuries that they are having, they're not season ending injuries. They're just nagging. I don't even think they're really monthly injuries, to be honest. They're weekly injuries day by day. So, like I said, it just sucks that it's happening right now in the midst of everything that's going on right now. But to say it's over, it just is it's a little premature. Like we've seen teams come from the bottom of the gutter and they've somehow made it through the gauntlet. So yeah, I just say it's a little bit too early to say that.
Yeah,
for
man.
anybody.
Yeah, Joel Embiid is going to come back and play some good basketball. Before he went down last year, he was averaging like 36 points a game or something like that. Andre Drummond is filling in admirably, grabbing rebounds, and once he gets back to his position off the bench, you can expect them to be okay. The second unit should be okay. They can't rely on right now though, like the Kyle Lowrys, the Eric Gordons. I don't think they're going to get much out of those guys. Even in Tyrese Maxey's absence. So I'm expecting Caleb Martin and Kelly Oubre to step up and at least pick up some of the scoring slack, and then the rest of those guys to get out there and scrap and claw and help these guys get some wins because they don't want to find themselves at 1-10, 2-11. Things like that, it's hard to overcome. Even if you have all the want and the willpower in the world, it's hard to overcome that type of start in the NBA season. It's a long season, but it can be rough to get back to
And
respectability.
also, yeah, and also it gives opportunity for Jared McCain to get some playing time. They rookie, so hopefully he's able to step in and do a little bit more than he did yesterday. I mean, he did finish with 5 points, and he only played about I would say 12 minutes, so he did solidly. So I'm expecting him to get a little bit uptick, play maybe getting closer more to that 18 point, 19 points. I mean, not 19, 19 minutes per game, and see what he got. So maybe that's somebody else we could see, but they also maybe Reggie Jackson can make some things shake because we've seen him lead some wins by himself when he was on the Clippers as well. So maybe he could be somebody that could have a boost of points with that team.
Yeah, that's another guy that I forgot to mention. Reggie Jackson definitely has the scoring chops. Him and Dennis Schroeder are the type of players that can go in and put a band-aid on the bullet wound, stop the bleeding a little bit. So that's what's up, man. It sucks for the Philadelphia 76ers and their fans. It's been a rough start to the season. Hang in there, guys, because you could be rooting for the Chicago Bulls, and it's been rough over here. It's been rough. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. Let us know what y'all think down below in the comments. How y'all feel about this Tyrese Maxey injury? Is it gonna can Philadelphia withstand the
Stifle.
storm? Can they withstand the storm? You got Joel Embiid waiting in the wings to come back after this suspension, and Paul George is out there, so maybe they can sneak in a couple of wins. We'll see tomorrow when they play the Lakers in LA over on ESPN, and of course we'll be following that up over here on NBA Central after hours. After all the late games, your boy Big Kev jump on here about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning and kick it. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, subscribe, all those things. And we're going to holler at you guys next time. For Big Steve-O, it's your boy Big Kev.
Peace.
Peace.